Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of this occasion, who is today the father of education in Nigeria, your friend, your ardent supporter, a former vice chancellor in his own right, a former director general of the Nigerian Law School, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Professor Tahir Mamman, is unavoidably absent. Is unavoidably absent. Actually, as at Tuesday afternoon, he had made up his mind to be here, but they were not sure whether the Federal Executive Council was going to meet, because these days they meet on Mondays and then on Wednesdays, depending on the mood of the country. And therefore, it has become impossible for him to be here physically. But he has asked me to assure you that the fact that he's not here physically does not in any way diminish the value, the importance that he attaches to this event. In the circumstance, he has asked me to represent him and to read his address. So where you hear me say, I, it's actually not me, Chris Meyaki, but Professor Tahir Mamman. So I go straight to his address. Distinguished invited guests, Your Excellency, great honor to be invited to address you on the occasion of the second annual conference of the Consortium of Universities in Kwara State, now called the Ku8+. I commend and congratulate the Ku8 group for coming together to forge an alliance aimed at promoting academic collaboration for the overall development of Kwara State and the nation at large. This is a laudable feat worthy of emulation by universities in other states and other regions of the country. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is globally acknowledged that high quality education for our children is crucial in the delivery of a better society that they truly deserve. The current administration, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, remains resolute in her conviction that once we get education right, we will get our other developmental priorities also right and place our country back on the right trajectory. This is because a populace or a population with the appropriate knowledge, with the appropriate skills and attitudes is better equipped to bring about a society with the right economic model for delivering services to the people. The pertinent question is, how do we ensure that our educational institutions are well placed to produce graduates who will help achieve this worthy objective? One of the most effective strategies for accomplishing this is for institutions to pool both human and natural resources together. It is now a global practice for groups of institutions to come together to establish themselves and project a common brand. The Ku8+ is clearly moving in the right direction. And I should add that this brand extends to cooperation, or should extend to cooperation with industry. We can all learn from each other, and what better way to do so by establishing connections with other educational institutions and the captains of industry. This is why I am so delighted with the theme of this conference, Shaping Sustainable Futures, Connecting Universities and Industries Through Joint Initiatives. On our part, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Federal Minister of Education is working tirelessly to develop policies that will create an enabling environment for our universities to thrive. Of note is our transformative reform through the DOTS, Data Repository out-of-school children education, teacher training and development, skills development and acquisition. We envision that the data collected will aid evidence-based planning, measure implementation and progress, and identify areas where improvements are required. I'm delighted to inform you that through this initiative of the out-of-school program, 4 million young Nigerians have now been reintegrated into the educational system through various agencies of the Federal Ministry of Education. And I believe that a lot more needs to be done, because when you look at the streets of Nigeria in the past 1 week or 10 days, you know that there's still a lot to be done to bring back those children loitering the streets back to proper, learning ecosystems. Furthermore, just last week, the Ministry of Education inaugurated a committee in partnership with UNESCO and other international partners to review and create a robust policy for the support and development of teachers in Nigeria, especially at the pre-tertiary. This level makes or mars in large measure the quality of education of a country, including issues of access and equity. The Ministry of Education, working with all stakeholders, has beamed a big light on this for necessary transformation. In this lies the future of our children and indeed the country. Other reforms include the removal of universities from the integrated payroll and personnel information system, and the resolution of all recruitment-related challenges, wherein we can now say universities have now been given their autonomy. An important decision and signature innovation of this government has been the approval of the NUC Transnational Education Guidelines. This is meant to open up the tertiary education sector to international participants. To remove the financial barriers to accessing quality higher education, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu recently established and activated the Nigerian Education Loans Fund, which began operations this year. So far, we are pleased to inform that the fund has successfully provided full fee coverage for over 20,000 students, amounting to 1.1 billion, with an additional 850 million set to be disbursed in the succeeding weeks. This financial aid will enable them to focus on their studies without the added burden of financial worry. It is our belief that by investing in the students, we're investing in the future of Nigeria. In looking to the future, we see the importance of acting now to prepare our graduates for the world of work, to enable them to take their place within the fourth industrial revolution. And this is why artificial intelligence, as you well know, has now created new jobs and extinguished others, and will eventually impact our daily transactions and interactions under a digital ecosystem. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, distinguished invited guests, these are a few of the reforms undertaken by the Federal Ministry of Education and the present administration to ensure the revitalization of education in Nigeria. Our work in the past year has involved extensive engagements and consultation with a wide variety of stakeholders. This is our own way of ensuring that everyone is contributing to the advancement of the education sector and the nation as a whole. Once again, I applaud the emergence of Ku8 and the chosen theme of today's conference, which is structured around university-industry collaborations. I employ the Ku8 universities to seek all avenues possible, to involve the industry in the practical training of its students, as well as producing graduates that are of value to industry. And before I draw the curtain, I'd like to say that rather than coming up again to speak as guest of honor as the representative of the National Universities Commission, I'd like this to dovetail into a few remarks I'd like to make, in my own right as the acting executive secretary of the NUC. And I do this on behalf of the 274 universities that make up the Nigerian university space today. Nigeria today has 274 universities. With the advent of the University of Ibadan in 1948, the system has grown exponentially under the guidance of the NUC and now comprises 62 federally funded universities. When Professor Bamitale went to university, there were barely, how many universities? Under 10 at that time. Today we have 62 federal public funded universities. We have 64 universities established by the various state governments. I think Kwara has two state universities, Kwara State University of Education, which we licensed only last week, and Kwara State University in Malate. And we have 148 universities established by a variety of private sector entities, and we're still counting. And I want to use this occasion to assuage your misgivings and your fear about the ever-expanding higher education landscape in Nigeria. Nigeria, with a population of 200 million, is the only country in its population bracket that is hugely undersubscribed. And the statistics goes as follows. The United States of America, with a population of over 300 million, has 5,500 universities. Brazil, about 200 million, has over 1,200 universities. Indonesia, with about 260 million, has nearly 2,000 universities. And Russia, and are still counting. I don't want to talk about India and China. Those ones are in the 1 billion mark. So you see that there's a need for us to continuously expand access and broaden equity in the provision of university education, because the entire 274 universities put together can only accommodate between 500 and 700,000 of the 2 million children, nearly 2 million children that apply to go to university annually. And you don't want to imagine the anguish, and the despair on the faces of parents and the students. What we do is to expand, but not at the expense of quality. Not at the expense of quality, and to also assure the public that the entire private universities put together, even though larger in number, do not constitute more than 10% of the student enrollment, because they have to incubate, they have to grow, they have to mature, in a gestation period. So I thought I should use this occasion, because each time you hear new universities have been established, we go like again and again and again. But I want to tell you that we will, as a matter of deliberate policy, continue to encourage new universities. Yesterday, I had the privilege of visiting another new university, AAT University, one of the well-built, iconic universities that is coming up in Gamo area of Ilorin, and I'm so proud of what I saw yesterday. So it is on behalf of this, this special constituency that I bring our warm felicitations. And I want to say that we congratulate the KU8 on the appropriateness of the theme of today's today's conference. I want to say that this conference is taking place at a time when the call for the reimagination and the repositioning of university education is becoming louder and louder and louder by the day. And that's why we recently consummated our transnational education guidelines. Under those guidelines, under those 6 competitive models, foreign investors are now at liberty to come to Nigeria, to establish branch campuses, to undertake, twinning arrangements, articulations. They can undertake joint degrees. They can actually have teaching institutions in Nigeria. They can actually acquire universities in Nigeria. It is also coming on the heels of our recently consummated core curriculum minimum academic standards, the NUC, by law, is saddled with a very vital and strategic responsibility to prescribe and lay down the minimum standards. And we do this, in a collective, in a concerted effort with subject experts, the universities, the academies, the professional bodies. And we're happy to say that from now henceforth, the core curriculum minimum academic standards has been activated. And we've gotten to the point of no return. And we urge universities to please set up their internal implementation arrangements and quality assurance, nodal points so that we can bring to fruition this new core curriculum minimum academic standards. But before I take my leave, I'd like to argue that there's an obvious logic, embedded in terms of scale, in terms of cost efficiency, when you come together, in terms of resource sharing, in terms of facilities pooling, and the competitive advantage which KU8 provides each and every one of you. One way that this becomes readily applicable is the implementation of joint internal quality assurance systems. I urge you to, compare notes to cross-fertilize, because quality is a cross-cutting issue. The issue of policy synchronization, such as research ethics, the issues of sexual harassment and inclusivity, you'll be surprised how much you can collaborate and benefit, from each other. I urge you to also build joint databases. I urge you to interlink your library systems. I urge you to explore joint ventures for producing laboratory inputs and to apply for joint grants and encourage student mobility based on quality parameters. I want to also say that whatever group dynamics you have undertaken to build should not be at the expense of quality. You must not, under any circumstance, compromise quality. I want to say that our support to the KU8 Plus universities as the National Universities Commission is unequivocal and is not less than 100% at any given time. The Commission is committed to helping universities to navigate these partnerships effectively by ensuring that they benefit the students, the staff, and the broader community where they operate without compromising quality. And as I close this address, let me, with pride and a deep sense of fulfillment, reaffirm that the KU8 initiative will enhance the development of Nigeria's higher education. I once again thank the consortium for organizing this forum and for giving me the opportunity to represent the Honorable Minister of Education and the entire management and staff of the NUC. And may this second edition of the Ku8 International Conference be a true testament to the brighter future that lies ahead of the cohort of universities which have willingly come together to harness the best of their group dynamics. And I thank you for your kind attention, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I thank you once again for the opportunity. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we just listened to the Honorable Minister for Education, a message delivered by the regulatory body of all universities in Nigeria. And when the minister passed the message through the ESNUC to say KU8 has the 100% backing of both the ministry and the commission. I expected you to do a thunderous clapping, for that. Thank you very much, the Honorable Minister. Thank you very much, the ESNUC. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the next thing on the agenda is for us to listen to the keynote speech or address by a distinguished professor, a former Vice Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University, the Ekiti man who schooled all around the nation and even abroad, a professor of history and international relations, the Vice Chancellor, as they normally put it, Oba Awon University. Yes, you are great, but your university is better by far. All right, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, without taking much of our time, I want to kindly request the keynote speaker, our distinguished professor, Bamitale Omole, to kindly rise as I read his citation. You're not clapping very well again. Is it because I said the university is better by far? Even Professor Egbewale agrees that the university is better by far. All right, the citation of our keynote speaker. Professor Bamitale Omole is a distinguished professor of international relations, diplomacy, and strategic studies, a versatile university administrator and management consultant. Professor Omole was a former vice chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State, Nigeria. He was in office between the years 2011 and 2016. He's also a former pro-chancellor and chairman of council, Ekiti State University, Ado-Ekiti, between the years 2019 and 2022. He bagged a BA and MSc degrees in history and international relations from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and an MPhil and PhD in political science and international relations from the University of Bordeaux in France. Professor Bamitale Omole also holds a postgraduate diploma in international law and organization for development from the Institute of Social Studies, The Hague, the Netherlands. A recipient of many national and international awards, Professor Omole also has a certificate in fundraising fundamentals, certificate in university research management, and a certificate in executive leadership for university management. Before serving as the Vice Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University, Professor Omole was the Dean of the Faculty of Administration and a two-term member of the Governing Council of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. He also served on the boards of some federal institutions and parastatals. At a point in his career, he was a visiting scholar at the Korean Foundation, Seoul, in South Korea, and at various times, a visiting fellow at the Center de Toulouse, the Africa Nori Institute de Toulouse Politique University de Bordeaux, France. He's also a laureate of the United States of America International Visitors Leadership Program, Washington, D.C., United States of America. A bold and thoroughbred university administrator and reformer, Professor Omonle spearheaded various innovative and landmark initiatives during his tenure as Vice Chancellor that led to the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, being ranked the best in Nigeria for 3 consecutive years during his tenure. His tenure was focused on promoting excellence in teaching and research across academic fields and the rapid infrastructural development of the university. As a management expert with a specialization in university management and strategic repositioning, Professor Omole has over the years assisted some universities, both private and public, in optimizing their potentials. A sought-after speaker on university management, Professor Omole has also consulted for the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, World Bank, and UNESCO. He is a member of many professional organizations and serves on the boards of a number of profit and non-profit organizations. A widely traveled academic and management expert, Professor Bamitale Omole has traveled widely to many countries in Africa, Europe, United States, and Asia for research, seminar, and conferences. Professor Bamitale Omole speaks and writes fluently in French. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our keynote speaker, our distinguished Professor Bamitale, popularly known as Tale Omole.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Whenever I'm invited to a conference like this, I'm always very mindful and very careful not to start a territorial war. Some people started this morning, and I think we're going to give it to them. Gray, gray, gbogbo, gbagba, bo, bo. Thank you so very much. If care is not taken this morning, I will withdraw the certificate of Professor Gbewole, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank you so very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure this morning to share my thoughts with you on what I've titled Collaboration and Partnership, University-Industry Engagement for Growth and Development. But let me quickly add this rider. I think I'm not breaking any protocol if I remove this for now. I'll wear it home when I'm going. Even inside the plane, I'll put it on my neck. It was becoming exuberance and exuberance. Thanks so very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it will be remiss on my part, despite the fact that I like to stand on the protocol already established. But it will be greatly remiss on my part if in a gathering like this, I do not recognize before I do my presentation the Honorable Minister of Education, ably represented by Ambassador Dr. Chris Mayaki. I would like also quickly to again recognize Dr. Mayaki in his own capacity as the NUC Executive Secretary, Please, you give me 1 or 2 minutes. I'll talk about Dr. Mayaki before this presentation. I'd like to recognize the governor of the state, ably represented here. I'd like to, again, recognize the founder and chairman of this great university. I want to thank you, sir, for this great vision that you have for this university. Permit me quickly to recognize the chairman of this Ku8 in the person of Professor Wahab Egbewole. The Vice Chancellor of Al-Hikmah University, I recognize you. And lastly, I would like to recognize every Vice Chancellor that is here. I know the work that you're doing is a thankless job. It's a stressful job. I will come to that. But distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to say 1 or 2 things about Dr. Mayaki this morning. Dr. Mayaki represents the rare breed of Nigerian public servants. A man of great intelligence, honesty, hardworking, helpful. Some people you know, they are caught for the job they do in life. I think you believe that. Dr. Mayaki is one of them. When I was Vice Chancellor, 2011 to 2016 in OAU, and when I was the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council of Ekiti State University, Dr. Mayaki was the man you should see in AUC. He was not Executive Secretary then. Please, let's put our hands together for him. Dr. Mayaki is a man with a great emotional sense. Every Vice Chancellor that succeeded, when people say that I succeeded, I did this, it is because of a man like this. I called the former Vice Chancellor of UNILAG, the former Minister of Health yesterday. I said, Isaac, Alan Mayaki is here in Ilori. The man shouted. He said, Chris, Bamiki, 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 Bamiki. I want to thank you, sir. I'm not surprised that you are where you are today. It's such a great pleasure to see you. Now, quickly, let me make a great confession. When my brother, the son, Professor Wahab Egbewole, saw me in Lagos, in UNILAG, some few months back, I was the chairman of I think, 10th year anniversary of JUPEB. So I was invited as the chairman to give a speech. Wahab came to me. Excuse me, sir, I'll get in touch. I thought it was the kind of a get in touch that would never get back in touch. But he did. I did not know he was setting me up for a trap that I would not be able to. Suddenly, he then called me one day. He said, excuse me, sir, I want to beg you. We're having this conference. He didn't tell me the conference in Kwara State, in Ilori, or vice chancellors. I thought 1 or 2 vice chancellors. He said, please, sir. He was pleading as if he had committed me. So I said, Wahab, let me look at my schedule. But if I'm free, I can assure you that I will come. And I'm here today. But let me make a confession. When Professor Egbewole was inviting me, he did not tell me that I'm going to come to address the gathering of the most endangered species of chief executives in the Nigerian university system. He never told me. I thought it would just be talk, clap. If you talk well, even if you don't talk well, they will clap. So I said I will come. So, but he never told me that I was coming to give a lecture to a coterie, a gamut, and an amalgam of vice chancellors. I never knew. I'm saying this as a caveat before I go to the presentation, because to become a vice chancellor, or rather to be a vice chancellor, today in Nigeria, whether it is privately owned, whether it's state-owned, whether it's a federal institution, is the most unenviable and thankless job that any man can find himself. Unfortunately, those sitting and watching outside the ring do not think so. They think you are enjoying. But contrary to the perception outside, is a job that is stressful, a job that is tough, and when you are really committed, it's a job if care is not taken. If care is not taken, you may even forget your family. Your wife will give you a bag of food for breakfast in the morning. You take it back home around 9 p.m. I think I'm speaking your mind here. That's the work of a vice chancellor. I'm speaking from experience of staying 36 years in the university before I became the vice chancellor and pro-chancellor of a university. So I'm part of you. So I will speak on your behalf. I know the proprietor is here, but I will speak. I want to really, your job is so unenviable that I've likened your job to be equivalent to the captain of a boat without a rudder. And still, the captain is expected to anchor and navigate the turbulence of the sea successfully. Indeed, as a vice chancellor in any Nigerian university today, I've likened you to a boxer that is thrown into the boxing ring without a glove or head guard, and you are still expected to win a gold and without injury. Again, you are like a farmer that is sent to the field by his master without a hoe, without a cutlass. Yet, the master expects you to come with a bumper harvest. That's the total picture of the average Nigerian vice chancellor today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I consider you endangered species for three reasons. Please, can you leave please tell the guy to, so they can see the screen. Sorry about that. I know you're doing your job, but I think I said you are the most endangered species for 5 reasons. First, today, probably until recently, universities are terribly underfunded, and proprietors, federal, state, private, expect optimal and best performance and delivery from you. Every month, you struggle with what to do with the payment of salaries. You struggle with overhead. You struggle with staff allowances. Indeed, I remember that distinguished international statesman and diplomat, Professor Gambari, the pioneer chancellor of Ku8 State University, recently in July, at a public lecture, said that he had to resign as chancellor of that university because for 3 years, the government at that time was not funding that university. It's in the papers, it's in the media. Is that not so? He said he had to resign because he said that there was nothing, as it were, to work with. Number 2, you are probably vice chancellors. You are probably the most administratively harassed and beleaguered of any public servant presently in Nigeria. There is the unending harassment from federal legislators. They will visit your universities. They will say oversight functions with all the logistics implications. You understand logistics? You understand it? You understand logistics? Then clap. Number three, you are endangered because there is also the financial and fiduciary bottlenecks in the form of the TSA, Treasury Single Account, and IPPIS. Good as they are, they have been abused. Consequently, it has hamstrung the performance of vice chancellors. You'll be able to generate funds, you put it in that kitty, but taking it back has always become a tug of war. Number four, you are the most endangered, especially Professor Wahab Egbewole, who is the Vice Chancellor of the only federal university here in Kwara State. There is a federal government directive to federal universities to seek the permission of the head of service of the Federation before academic and administrative recruitment can be made. At least during my time. It was when I was exiting the university that obnoxious, totally unworkable, a directive was given. You wanted to recruit somebody from England, from the US. You want to bring someone from the Netherlands, where Dr. Mayaki is an alumnus. Then you go to the head of service. You wanted to recruit a cleaner. Then you have to get the permission. And that is apart from the harassment of the Federal Character Commission. Consequently, because of all of this, you are the most endangered. I've been there. I know how hot the seat was, but it's hotter during your time than my time. Therefore, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, do we just highlight all these challenges, or we chart a way forward? That is why in this keynote address, I would like to talk on what I've called collaboration and partnership, university industry engagement for growth and development. Slide 1. I will start by telling two stories. The first story is that in the night, I want you to listen to these stories so that when you go back, you can do this with your students and with your members of staff. Two stories. The first one was in the 1990s. Two Stanford PhD students, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, those were the two guys, collaborated on a research project in their laboratory, fiddling with so many things. And they were trying to look for a way to develop and better the power of the internet. At the end of the day, they were able to do that at a very fast speed. And that was the origin of that great octopus company today that is called Google, our search engine that we all go to. That was the beginning. It was as a result of the collaboration between the students, a few members of staff, and the university. Stanford University provided the enablement. As of 2005, I want you to listen to this. Stanford University had collected $360 million as equity and financial benefits from this collaboration of students and their members of staff in Stanford University. And that's in a single year. The second story is about the Microsoft, how it was established. Many of us, when we talk about Microsoft, the name that comes to our head is that of what? Bill Gates. Do you know that Bill Gates never had a university education? How many of you know that here? He never did. All he did was himself and Paul Allen, a friend of his. They two were working with all sorts of engines. eventually they dropped out of school because the time they were spending on the internet, on the machine, was taking too much of their time. At the end of the day, they dropped out of school. Today, Microsoft is worth over $3 trillion. The school that gave them that platform, the school that gave them that opportunity in Seattle, in Washington, Lakeside School, as at last year, they've given that school over $20 billion. That's as a result of a collaboration with students and members of staff. Now, these stories not only highlight the potentials of university industry collaboration, but also these stories emphasize the importance of nurturing academic research and innovation among our students. Initiatives and strategic actions to boost university industry synergy for national development. There's no doubt that universities require extensive local and international partnership for academic, industrial, and entrepreneurial leverages in a globalized intellectual market of the 21st century. When universities sustain synergy with their communities and industrial stakeholders for innovation, mutually beneficial projects get delivered, and the society and their immediate nation benefit from this. The ensuing cooperation has the potential to promote creativity, innovation, mentoring, and entrepreneurship across the national research landscapes. What then are the avenues for synergy between universities and industry? Let me say this. Do not leave this auditorium with this mindset that my university is a small university. My university has just been established. My university has no funds. My university is not being, it would have been better you didn't come here. It would have been better because you will have gained nothing. Because nobody forced you to apply for the job of a vice chancellor. Did they force you? Answer me, vice chancellors. When I was talking their support, they were clapping for me. Now, I'm not talking because I want to really bring home a few things. You are qualified, you are competent, you are a globalized intellectual, you've written papers, and you knew that there are some things you can give to benefit your environment. That's why you applied. In fact, many of you competed with so many people. But at the end of the day, God made you vice chancellors. Is that not so? But however, what are the avenues that you can explore to better your university with the industries? Number one, I could see some people writing. I like that. Number one, look at your area of curriculum development. It's important. You have to collaborate with industry experts to co-create, design, and update your curricula that reflect current market needs and technological advancement. What are the courses that if you mount short-term, medium-term, not even, I'm not talking of 4- or 5-year courses, that you think universities will come to? Let me give you a vivid example. I just left as the pro-chancellor and chairman of council of Ekiti State University. I just left just some 2 years back. I worked with Dr. Ofayemi. He appointed me when I left Ife as Vice Chancellor. Then there was this council meeting. Are you listening? We told the Vice Chancellor, great Vice Chancellor, is ending next week. His 5 years is ending next week. Ediolandi Kwekun, tall guy like this. If he's entering this place, he will bend. Such a, I mean, Wahab, you know him now. Chris, Professor Dr. Chris, you know him now. Eddie is so tall. I say, Eddie, tell your faculty members, departments, to come up with current, globalized, marketable courses. And there was this particular department. They were coming with all sorts of nonsense. Physical education in the developing country. There's also, they would then change the name. They will make it aromatic. And they will add health, physical. I say, then they brought it to council. You know, members of council at times, because I was former vice chancellor, I knew what we wanted. So when we got there, some people were saying, approve. I said, approve what? Physical education, good as it is. How many parents will send their children to go to the university? No, nobody does that. I then told them, I'll give you a list of what you can do. I said, number one, as vice chancellor, think of new courses like artificial intelligence and robotics. You don't need 4 or 5 years, 2 months. Look, Kwara State, all these boys and girls that are just roaming about, they will come and just certificate them. Robotics, artificial intelligence. I told them, go and mount a course on cloud computing. I was talking from experience. When I was vice chancellor, we won a 3 million World Bank grant. We competed. World Bank then asked us, what do you want to do with 3 million? I had called all my people, IT people, all these people. They said we should do cloud computing and telepresence. It was just coming up then. And that was the proposal we submitted. And we won. It changed the whole gamut, the whole landscape, the architectural structure of Obafemi Awolowo for about 6, 7, 8 years. You will sit in your room. You will sit in your home at the university staff quarters. You know, it's a big expanse of land. On your bed, you can connect anywhere in the world. Fiber optics, we laid it everywhere. Broadbands, we laid it everywhere. And I was going to Lagos, coming to Abuja, negotiating with internet providers. Instead of taking 100 million a month, I will negotiate it to 40, 50. Indeed, if you are an alumnus, I'll blackmail you. That why should you even take anything? And it worked. I said, VC, go and man courses in mechatronics. Go and man courses in mechatronics. Go and man courses in animation reality and virtual augmentation. These are things people are doing. Look, let me give you a quick example. My time is unfortunate. When we had NUGA in 2014, are you listening? We needed about, I should not be saying this because Dr. Chris Mayake is here, although it was not the one that did it. We needed about 600 million to build a tartan track of international standard, to build a swimming pool of international standard. I was going to NUC. NUC said they will give us 200 million. That's truly they wanted to give us. But the water was too much with the Oka, so they couldn't. You can translate. I don't speak English very well, so you can translate. Omipoju. They ended up giving us 50 million. So I said, meanwhile, I'd committed Ife that we are going to host NUGA games. Unparalleled, we are going to do this world-class stuff. Do you know what I did? I then called all the regional managers of all the banks. Because I said I'm going to share my experience today. If you are getting bored, let me know so I can take my seat. I said I will call all the regional, and I told them, if you are able to take me to your MD, I will divert all our savings, our placements, from Bank A to Bank B. There was a manager, regional manager, that was so excited. Eventually, I will not mention the bank. He then took me to their MD after about 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Do you know what happened? I called my ICT people. I read History, International Relations, Pol Science. But don't say because you read Arabic studies, Christian education, religion, Yoruba or whatever, you have to be digitalized. You have to be a digital nomad. Don't say because I must read, what science must you read to type and print and Google and look for information on AI. I called them, I said, give me the most up-to-date presentation. I'm going to Lagos. I was staying in a hotel. Maybe I should not be too specific because you might guess the bank. I was staying there. First day, I'll go to the MD. I will get there from my hotel. I will be seated in his office from 9 a.m. Around 4, too busy a man. He will come, VC, please, I'm so sorry. I'll see you by 8 o'clock. I've not eaten throughout that day. That's the life of a vice chancellor. If you want to do well, he kept me waiting. Not that he did it deliberately. He kept me waiting. He was having, I think, the annual general meeting. So the third day, he came apologetic. He was begging. I said, no, sir, no, sir. He said, don't call me, sir. You are older than I am. I said, you are, sir. Yes, sir. I said, you are, sir. Yoruba will say, Olowo. The owner of the money is the older one. Is that not English? The man told me, excuse me, sir, don't call me sir, sir, sir. I said, you are, sir. Do you know, he called his management board meeting, and they just gave me this PowerPoint thing. My boys in Ife had already prepared. And it was just, as I was doing there, scrolling from one. By the time I finished, the man asked me, which area of science or management they do specialize? Because I wowed them, as the language they use now. They said they wowed them. I told the man, I didn't read science or management. I just read History, International Relations, and International Diplomacy. He said, what? I said, yes, sir. He said, I told you, don't say yes, sir. I was looking for 600 million. And you are telling me I should not say yes, sir. Do you know how much the man ended giving Ife? He gave us 300 million. That is how it is. And we mounted, many of you, President Akonji from Mina, he was Vice Chancellor of Mina, if I remember that time. They were all there. It was one of the greatest Nougat games you could ever imagine. That is aside. But let me move quickly. You must be able to do collaborative research projects with companies. Number 3, internship and cooperative programs. Internship and cooperative programs. You must create structured internship and cooperative education programs to give students practical experience and hands-on. Number 4, industry-sponsored labs and centers. Where that in Ife? Look, don't wait for your proprietor. There's a limit that your proprietor could do. Look at this federal government. Do you think it's only education they are looking after, or the state government? But if you want to leave a mark, you have to think even without the box. You have to think without the box. Because if you think outside the box is still there. You have to scatter and smash that box. That's when you can make it. It is called disruptive innovation. You have to be disruptive. I was talking about Dr. Chris Mayaki. He was our go-to-see man. I would say, Chris, come. I'm in trouble. Unions will kill me. They will do this. What do? I will have seen him. By the time I will go to the executive secretary then, in fact, Dr. Mayaki's understanding of the university system in Nigeria was so good, the man would tell me, go and see your boy now. Chris is there. I will pretend as if I have not seen. And he has given me all that I needed. At times, he would tell me how to write the letter. I was vice chancellor. I understand small English. But it is the one that would, because there is an administrative language. Are you there? Are you enjoying this talk? Then put your hands together. Don't worry, I will soon leave. I don't want them to start writing papers for me. By the time I go back to the EU, Executive Secretary, Dr. Mayaki was Deputy Director or something. He was rising. So I'm not surprised God brought him to where he is today. The man will say, Omole, you have come again. Omole, you have come again. He will just sign. You have to do what we call networking. Networking. That's why I cited Dr. Mayaki again. Don't sit in your cocoon. Don't sit in your enclosure. Don't become a provincial vice chancellor. No. Look, I will get to that. I got something on Al-Hikmah University. You'll be shocked when I come to it now. Number 6, there must be technology transfer and commercialization. University can establish offices dedicated to the commercialization of research, which can help to bridge the gap between academic discoveries and marketable products. When I was vice chancellor, IFE was established in 1962. You know, every vice chancellor will come, they will do their own, and I built on the people that left. But there was one thing, because the man that left in 1962, you can't use his method to be successful in 2016. You become a fossilized museum. And you become an animation to people. They will just come and be looking at you. They will just come and look at you because you are totally an analog. So what I then did, I said, look, there must be an intellectual property unit in the department. In order to galvanize, in order to encourage, in order to incentivize the professor, I won't mention it, I give him a car. You know, it's part of welfare. People that will go from morning till evening, you say he's doing his work. Which is his work? I gave him a car. He said, just. That man walked. He was going from department to faculty to universities around. And it was a golden era for us in IFE. That's what vice chancellor should do. Find a way of incentivizing your people. They will move the miles. Number 7, which is important, guest lectures and seminars. They are important. They are important because people will share. I'm sharing experiences with you. Is that not so? It is possible. I needed money. I was going from morning till evening for 3 days. I was calling a junior person, excuse me, sir. And the man was saying, don't call me. I said, you're excuse me, sir. In fact, I did it to the extent that I was so sure when the man slept, he would be dreaming about me. It was that it's a serious matter. Number 10, sponsored projects. You should sponsor projects and competitions among your students. Then grants and funding is important. Grants and funding is important. Then establishment of incubators and accelerators is so important. Then, another important thing, are you there? that I discovered most universities don't do. They don't really place emphasis on it, but that you can get a lot of funds, is endowment. 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 Endowment is important. And that's why I want to thank the founder of this university, that he got the vision. The founder of this university could have spent his money somewhere else, but he endowed, he built this place. Please, let's put our hands together for him. I want to thank you, sir. If we have people like you in Nigeria, excuse me, sir, Alaji, sir, if we have people like you in Nigeria, we will not need any government. We won't need them. We won't need them. Endowment is important. Our head of university should be proactive and engaged by attracting industry-funded chairs and fellowships. During my tenure, we had about 5 chairs. At times 50 million, at times 100 million, but they would generate money for continuity. Is that not so? That was what can make you not to be frustrated in this. Now, let me come home quickly so that, please, University of Ilorin, can you just, this thing is not working again. Who is the guy on the IT? University of Ilorin. Where is University of Ilorin? Oh, I think I've left it. Okay. Now, while I was preparing for this keynote address, I said, what is the purpose of coming to Ilorin to give examples of Stanford, example of Oxford, examples of MIT, example of University of California in Berkeley? Many of us don't go there. But why don't I even look around and see what universities are doing? Then I went searching for literature. The first one that I prioritize is that many Nigerian universities have engaged many government parastatals and companies and industries for collaboration and development. And it has yielded results which are not even known to the public. I've titled this Examples of Partnership and Engagement by Nigerian University with Companies. Ilorin, University of Ilorin. Do you know that University of Ilorin has established partnership with Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC, to collaborate in the area of research and development projects? University of Ilorin, this is not an oil-producing state. But because there's an engineering department faculty, I'm not sure whether there's a chemical engineering department, but there is. So they are cooperating with NNPC. Do you know that University of Ilorin has collaborated with National Space Research and Development Agency, NASRA, in space and science technology? This is University of Ilorin behind us here. Shell Petroleum Company. You think that Ilorin, what are they doing with Shell? Let me tell you, and it's for the Vice Chancellor, so I will talk now. Let me take this thing. Okay, let me stand there so I can go quickly. No, don't come and remove it. We won't leave here today. Now, do you know that many of you don't make this mistake? You will say that every university will go to Shell Development Corporation. They will go to Chevron. You two go. It's a big elephant. You cut a pit, another university will come. Another university. Let me tell you this. Do I still have the time? In Ife today, in 2014, I got information. Dr. Mayaki is here, because all these things are documented. I got information that Central Bank at that time, 2013, they were doing interventions in different universities. Some universities will say, build us some 50 kilometers of road. Some will say is borehole that we needed. But in our strategic plan for the university, we needed a new university secretariat, university hall. The one that is there beautiful as it is, architectural piece that it is, was built in 1963. But it's still the senator of all eyes. So I got information that central bank was helping. So they might, look, Vice Chancellor, you have to network. Network. The person that told me said, write a proposal, back it up with documents, back it up with figures, and we did. We said we wanted a 14-story new university. You think it was a joke? Google it, you see, it's not yet completed. You know, because of the economic quagmire and downturn, it's not yet completed. Then we submitted. Central Bank took it up. 14-story building. Tall, with about, when it was designed, it was meant to have about 4 escalators. So it was a giant. Today, for a reason or the other, it's still just on the 4th floor or 3rd floor. I pray it's not going to be abandoned. But what I'm saying is this. Another vice chancellor will come. They will start from there. Is that not so? So, go out. That's what Ilorin is doing with Central Bank. Partnering, focusing on financial and economic research. Professor Egbewole, although I know they are helping your financial research, although unfortunately for you now the economy is so bad, and Central Bank will not even want to hear anything about. I would have said, do like I did. Just be saying, sir, sir, sir. But there's no money, no money, no money. Ilorin is partnering with, who are we? Partnering with all sorts of. University of Lagos. Go and sit down, go and sit down. Go sit down. I'll soon wrap it up. I will sign off, don't worry. I will sign off. University of Lagos. University of Lagos, again, MTN, Shell, Guinness, Total Energy, Dangote, First Bank, Chevron. Everybody, the market is big for us. It's big. Those the University of Ilorin is there, they will answer them because they are first generation. First generation, even you are 10th generation, you are from the same womb. NUC gave birth to every one of you. Dr. Mayaki signed your birth certificate. So don't say because, put your hands together if you want to put it together. Ahmadu Bello University, I saw it there again. I can't see it from here. Ahmadu Bello University, they too, they are with NNPC, ABU. They are with Central Bank. This Central Bank is a proverbial elephant. Cut your own. Although the elephant is sick now. They are with NCC. Now, they are with FIRO, Federal Institute of Industrial Research. Obafemi Awolowo University. That's my university. I don't want to be partial. But I've said virtually everything about OAU. OAU partners with NNPC, with Shell, with Guinness, with Dangote, with Nigerian Communication Commission, with UAW, International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. Do you know this? There's a company in Nigeria that is called CHAMS. How many of you have heard of CHAMS? By Mr. Ladekomo. I called Mr. Ladekomo one day. That was 2012 or thereabout. I said, look, you're an alumnus. Don't think because we won World Bank grant of $3 million that our students will come to your place in Lagos, teach them, let them start developing programs. Let them start developing programs so that at the end of the day, we commercialize it. Do you know at the end of that experiment, our students in Ife were able to develop for Osun State their payroll system. It was the first in that state. It was the first. Apart from that, we were able to develop a software that is called Confirm Me. Confirm Me is a technology, is a development by our collaboration with CHAMS. that for your transcript, one of the problems you must resolve is about your alumni. If you don't give them their transcript, you are demarketing yourself. Please, I want to beg you on that. Give them their transcript as when needed. So, many universities came to learn from us. Many universities, they came. I remember the NUC executive secretary at that time before Dr. said, go and meet Omole, go and meet Omole, go and meet Omole. And I was becoming like this. And my term ended. Now, let me now quickly come to Al-Hikmah University. Covenant University, Ota is there. Covenant University is there because I deliberately picked one state university. They do their fishing in the same troubled waters. Shell, Chevron, NNPC. Al-Hikmah University, Lorry, I was surprised to see what I saw. And I think they are really trying in this university. I think they are trying. The university collaborates, I'm talking about Al-Hikmah University now, collaborate with various industries and organizations to foster innovation and development. Some key collaborations include Ilori Innovation Hub. I never heard of it before. I didn't know that anything like that is in existence. The state-of-the-art facility, supported by IHS Towers, promotes digital skills and entrepreneurship among the youth, positioning Kwara as a hub for technological innovation. Abdurrahim Oladimeji Center for Entrepreneur and Vocational Studies, AOCEVS. As a result of that center, the university offers practical training programs in industries such as potable water production, plastic bottle blowing, household consumable production, and renewable energy technology. Let me quickly punctuate this and just say, I was in class 5 secondary school in 1970. Are you there? Subtract your age from there. I was in class 5 secondary school in 1970, and we came on an excursion to Kanji Dam. We were in Kayama. It was so peaceful in Nigeria in those days. We were in New Busa. Then we came to Ilori, because I want to talk about innovation, your immediate community, and what you can do. When we go to Ilori, that was the first time I would eat wara. Wara, what's the English for wara? What? Cheese. Cheese. See the way they pronounce it, cheese. I hope you get me some before I go back to this. When we stopped and we were to eat, there was this big chunks of stuff in our, and they said it's wara. I was eating like no man. I didn't know that it was milk, fermented. Thereafter, I fell in love with Ilori. So after my youth call in Kuru, in Jos, I said it's Ilori that I will come and work. University of Ilori was just coming up at that time. But because I needed to further my studies, I had to leave. So University of Ilori, Kwara State University, Al-Hikmah University, Malete University, all this, what are you doing as it were to improve on the traditional method of cheese production? What are you doing? Do you know that many of you that you travel every time to the United States, to UK, they will have packed suya. This is your suya that you eat. They will pack it, they will sell it for $5, $10. I said, what? In my father's house? There are many suyas that were killed. And they will, look, you have to do what I've called traditional integration of your environment with your technology. Packet, not all these women, every time going about selling wara. No. You have to find a way of adding value to all those things. That's the best thing that you can do to really. So I'm challenging you. Al-Hikmah University, I saw it again that is in total collaboration with KUB plus consortium, which is really, all these things are on the internet. You can't find it on the internet, go to your AI. All these chapters, stuff, they are there. Don't say, how do I do it? Now, I've talked about 7 more minutes. Thank you, sir. The man used style. When my papers dropped, he just dropped this inside. Now, Oxford University, I will wrap up now. I'll just sign off. Oxford University, they developed AstraZeneca. Do you remember during COVID-19? Do you know how much they made? Just because of that invention, they made 320 million pounds. 320 million what? Pounds on just a product. And that is how it is with so many other universities, both in England and I don't want to talk about some of these Silicon Valleys. I don't want to talk about them. California Institute of Massachusetts Institute of Technology, University of Berkeley. So, finally, let me talk about that. Finally, what then are the benefits of what we are doing if we follow what you are saying? Where do you go from here? The foregoing is to encourage every vice chancellor to understand that, are you there? Is to encourage every vice chancellor to understand that it is possible. It is really, 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 really possible. Don't let it is not possible be your watchword. Your watchword should be it is possible. In doing that, reduce dependence and subvention and handouts from your proprietors. Number 2, turn your university to truly a citadel of learning and innovation. And lastly, make it a 21st century university in a globalized intellectual market. Thank you so much. Thanks so very much.
Well, are you clapping or you're clapping? Well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you agree with me that teaching is a calling. Please be seated. You agree with me that teaching is a calling. And when you see anyone that is truly called, you need not be told. You can feel it, you know it yourself. And one of those is our keynote speaker, our distinguished Professor Bamitale Omole. Please, another round of applause for him. Well, we've been told to think globally even when we act in our local environment. So, globalization. Thank you very much for bringing this up once again, sir. So, my colleague will announce the next program.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, our participants from all the Ku8 Plus universities. We all have been sitting down since morning, listening to the speeches of our very distinguished speakers. And I think even if it's just for 1 minute, we can just rise and take a little stretch while the presentation by the consortium universities of Kwara State prepare to take the center stage. So please, let's rise for 1 minute. You can decide to throw your necks around. Just be careful. Stretch your hand, stretch your leg. And please, let's welcome the presentation by the KU8 Plus University should please come into the hall while we're taking the 1 minute stretch. Thank you. Interlude. No, I want this. One B. Yes. Please. While we're doing that, can we please put our hands together for the KU8 presenters who would be cheering us up for the next couple of minutes. Thank you. You can have your seat, please. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please can we take our seats? Please, let's take our seats. The entertainment is about to start and we are racing against time. Please, let's take our seats. Let's cut the pleasantries.
Learn how to smile every day, regardless how goes the day. Assalamu alaikum, peace on all of you.
Please, let's take our seats. The presentation is about to take center stage. Studio. Thank you. Plug it down, please. Thank you. Let's take our seats, ladies and gentlemen.
Your Excellencies, please, we are still in the middle of the program. Please let us kindly return to our seats. Let's return to our seats, please. Please, let's return to our seats. Please kindly return to your seats. All right, a presentation by KU8 now. Okay. All right. All right, thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for them. Thank you very much for that beautiful presentation. Again, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please let's take our seats as we continue with the program. And next on the agenda is to listen to the lead paper presenter, the person of Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladiji, FAS, the Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Technology, Akure. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call on Professor Oladiji to kindly stand as I read her citation. And just before I read our citation, I'd like to call on Professor Bosede Awo-Dola to kindly decorate our lead paper presenter. She's to be joined by the Vice Chancellor of Fountain University to do the decoration, Professor Olayinka Ramota Karim. Please, let's appreciate them as they do this. All right, thank you very much, Mars. And now I read her citation. Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladiji, FAS, attended Christ Anglican School, Ijomu Oro, and Iludun Oro Nursery and Primary School between 1972 and 1977. She had her secondary education at St. Clair's Anglican Grammar School, Ofa, from 1977 to 1982. She proceeded to University of Ilorin, where she obtained her BSc, MSc, and PhD degrees in biochemistry in 1988, 1991, and 1997, respectively. She had further trainings at Hebrew University of Jerusalem, Israel, Canadian Institute for Innovation Development, Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and African Leadership Institute in Dayton, Ohio, United States of America. She was exchange scholar of Association of African Universities to University of Cape Coast in Ghana. She joined the services of the University of Ilorin in July 1992 as an assistant lecturer and rose through the ranks to the position of professor in September 2011. Prior to joining the university, she had worked as Research and Development Officer at Kwara Breweries Limited, OFA. With over 30 years of continuous service in the university system, Professor Adenike Oladiji has mentored many doctoral students and supervised many doctoral theses to completion. She has held various positions and served on many university committees as chairman or member. She was head of department, subdean of our faculty, deputy director, Center for International Education, director, Center for Research Development and In-House Training, director, Central Research Laboratories, coordinator, U6 Consortium, a consortium of 6 universities across Africa, dean, School of Basic Medical Sciences at the Kwara State University, Malete, coordinator, Intellectual Property and Technology Transfer Office, University of Ilorin, board member, Technology Incubation Center, Ilorin, dean, Faculty of Life Sciences, a member, Governing Council, Federal Polytechnic, Nasarawa, and Crown Hill University, Yankori, now Jaja University. A prolific researcher with over 100 publications. Professor Oladiji has won many distinctions and awards, which include University's Merit Award, Certificate of Merit, and scholarships, amongst others. She's a fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Science and fellow Nigerian Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. She has served as chairman and member of many accreditation panels of the National Universities Commission, member Research and Development Standing Committee of Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, JAM Committee on Internationalization of Tertiary Education, and has been an external examiner in over 20 universities nationally and internationally. She is advisory board member of C.G. Bhatta Institute of Biotechnology, Uka Tasadia University, Maliba Campus, Badoli in India, and Director of Administration, Association of West Africa Universities, AWAU. Professor Oladiji has attracted research grants for research, institutional development, and capacity building. She has attended and presented many keynotes and lead papers in national and international conferences. She's a member of many professional bodies, including West Africa Research and Innovation Management, WARIMA, American Society of Nutrition, Organization for Women in Science for Developing World, Science Association of Nigeria, and Nigerian Society for Experimental Biology. She was appointed Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Technology, Akure, on the 24th of May, 2022. She became the 8th substantive Vice Chancellor of the university and the very first female to hold the exalted position. She has time also for sports. She's a sports lover, an award winner in badminton, serving as captain, Unilorin Veteran Badminton Club. Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladiji is happily married and blessed with children. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a lead paper presenter who will be speaking to us in the next 20 to 30 minutes, Professor Adenike Oladiji. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I think today's assignment is going to be one of the most difficult ones that I have met in my life, and maybe that I will meet. Because how do you speak after your grandfather has spoken? The executive governor, the honorable minister, ably represented by the acting ES of the NUC, my brother, the founder of Al-Hikmah University, is our father. Baba, I am an Igbomina, of Igbomina origin, so you are our father. Royal fathers here present. Kábíyèsí mo kí yín, adé apẹ́ lórí, bàtà apẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀, ìrùkẹ̀rẹ̀ apẹ́ lọ́wọ́, àṣẹ apẹ́ lẹ́nu. Our special guests here present and industrialists, the KU8 BOT members, KU8 vice chancellors, especially the vice chancellor of University of Ilorin, who can recall me anytime if I don't behave well. Other vice chancellors here present and CEOs, former vice chancellors also. My mentors, permit me to recognize Professor Oloyede, OB, and Professor Akanji MA, principal officers of the KU8 universities, particularly the deputy vice chancellors from University of Ilorin and others. Deans here present, provost and deans. I especially recognize the provost of the College of Medicine, my brother, Professor Alabi, and my dean, Professor Agishe, who also can recall me. Staff and students of the KU8 universities, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me to move closer to my slide so that I can see. Age is telling on us. Thank you very much. I think I'm more comfortable here. I also recognize one of my mentors, Professor Galadanchi, is the one teaching me Hausa language. I will soon become very proficient. If I'm not older than anybody here, at least I know somebody that I can harass. Professor Alex Akamu, where are you? Thank you very much. You will help me. I was told I have 30 minutes. I don't even want to use the 30 minutes, but please help me. Once I am done 20 minutes, you will rise up and ensure that I see you. Once I have done 25 minutes, please rise up and remain standing. Thank you very much. We have to manage our time and manage ourselves. I will try not to repeat what Grandpa has said. What I see playing out here today is the power of partnership. With correct partnership, we can climb any mountain. We can achieve a lot. We can even do the impossible, as you will see in this figure before us. Let me thank the forefathers of this initiative. I am also a part of the KU8 family. At least I know that I have a relationship with all the KU8 universities. I won't do what others have done, what Grandpa has said. So I will just say a few things. Help us, because this one is coming on and off. We are talking about university-industry linkage. Okay. We are talking about university-industry linkage. So I thought to myself, what do we even mean if we say university and industry? If we want them to connect, we must know who we are connecting with. And my search shows that we can actually look at industries from two perspectives. One says economic activity concerned with the processing of raw materials and manufacture of goods in factories. And I believe this is what many of us think the industry is. But there is another definition that says it's a group of productive enterprises or organizations that produce or supply goods. We also have services or sources of income. So when we talk about industries, we are not only talking about the manufacturing, we're actually talking about all encompassing everything that can actually be serve as sources of income to people. And on that basis, we can talk about different types of industries. Primarily, we have 5 types. So we talk about the primary industry, the secondary industry, that takes up the raw materials of the primary industry. Primary industries will be things like farming, mining, or they serve as the backbone for the economy. We have the secondary industries that process the raw materials from the primary industry, and that's where we have the manufacturing. We have the tertiary industries, and these are the ones that provide essential services that support the other industries. For example, education belongs to the tertiary industry, the healthcare, the legal profession, hospitality, entertainment. They are industries on their own. And as universities, we must be part of all of these industries. We have the quaternary industries, and this is actually the most expensive sector because they utilize information technology, research and development. So that's the quaternary, that's where the university actually sits comfortably. But we have the quinary industry, and these are those that are involved in the high-level decision-making. Somebody like our ambassador, Mayaki, we belong to the quinary industry. But on a broad scale, we can classify industries as small scale, medium scale, or even the large scale. So let's go. If we talk about university-industry linkage, what then are we talking about? We are talking about interaction between firms and universities with the goal of solving technical problems. It's not only for patenting, it's to solve problems. Working on R&D, innovation projects, or gathering scientific or technological knowledge. That's according to the IGI Global. When we have university-industry linkages, both entities must derive benefits from the interaction. Interactions must help, for example, to modernize the industries and the technologies. It must enable the growth of ventures by combining the entrepreneurial elements in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So let me ask this. Have you heard about these people or these industries? We have here with us, we have on the screen, we have Aliko Dangote. How many people know Aliko or have heard about him? Almost all of us. There is somebody that is also there. I don't know if I'm qualified to call his name. We have Alhaji Jani Ibrahim. I didn't know he would be here. I had prepared my slides, and I came in here and I met him. We have persons like Dr. Kamaru Yusuf Kamwaya. I think they said his representative is also here. We have Abdul Samad Rabiu. That's the proprietor of Bua. And I also have Yusuf Ali, because I want us to all know that industries transcend processing. But having said that, we are in Ilorin and we must know what we have. Have you heard of industries like Ku8 Pharmaceuticals, Biomedicals Limited, Sam Pharmaceuticals, Olam Industries, Olak Roofing, Shonga Farm, Dala Oxygen? Dala Oxygen is also along Asadam Road. All present in this, our town. I didn't put Loopcon there because I know I haven't put the picture of Baba there. You will know that Loopcon exists. Dala supplies oxygen to, I think, almost all the hospitals in Kwara. Now let's look at an example of university industry linkage. I have here the Adidas Jabulani. This was the cup, the ball that was used for the World Cup in South Africa, FIFA 2010. Those of us that watch football, we know that the Jabulani was a game changer in football. But this Jabulani was a product of research between Adidas and researchers from Loughborough University in the UK. And the same collaboration gave us the football that we used in 2008 European Championship and 2006 World Cup. The innovation alone and the collaboration generated income for the university, generated income for the researcher, and has moved the university ranking visibility, it has moved it up. A group of researchers in India tried to develop what we call the indices for assessment. And I want my colleagues and senior colleague, because my guy is here, vice chancellors to ask themselves and look at our universities, how we're faring. Indices for assessment for university industry interaction. How well is my university doing? These indices are, one, availability of university for industries. Are we available for the industries? Industry interaction with universities. Continuity in the interaction. When Professor Omale was talking and he reeled out some of the things that University of Ilorin had done, some of them we are aware of them, but is there a continuity in the interaction? Frequency of the interaction. University of Ilorin will celebrate 50 years this year. How many of such interactions do we have? University support in providing quality solutions to industries. How much MOU and agreements between universities and the industries? What are the patents gained by university-industry collaboration? And continuity of joint research. We also want to know, are the industries interacting with us, particularly for students' research? And at the what is the frequency of the industry's interaction with us? That will tell us if we are doing well or not. Traditionally, we talk about the tripartite roles of universities. We said we are teachers, we do research, we do community service. But I can confirm that if we interact with the industries can enhance all these roles if we interact and engage with them. We also look at the roles of the industries. They are for economic growth, social progress, urban development, investment opportunities. All these things that the industries are supposed to do, the universities can also positively play a role in them. Therefore, what we think is that there must be linkage between the universities and the industries. Of course, there are challenges. What are our challenges? There is a complexity of cultures. Our culture is different. The academia, we can take things easy. We can take it very lightly. The industry is looking at time. Time is ticking. Energy is expended. Is looking at profit. So our culture is different. The bureaucracy in the university, they don't need it. We want products. We want to sell. We want to produce. We want to make money. The university is looking at bureaucracy. So those are part of the things: globalization, technological advancement, and sustainability. Those are challenges. Industry is looking at sustainability. If I invest money, what's going to come out of it? What do we consider as the way forward? The first thing is that the two, that is the university and the industries, we must pull down all the obstacles and the complexity. We must come out of the bureaucracy. I want to look at some of the types of linkages. Of course, some of them have been discussed. We have curriculum development, knowledge exchange programs, technological innovation and commercialization, research collaboration, talent development, infrastructure and resource sharing. When we talk about curriculum development, we are looking at how the linkage can enable universities to align their research with what the industries need. We want to ultimately be able to use the industries as our classroom. When Malam Yusuf Ali was celebrating 40 years of Galib, is it 40 years of Galib Chambers? There was this small video that was in circulation, And they showed some of the resources available in the firm. And I said to myself, if any university presents this as their law library, there is no way they can fail accreditation. The library itself, in my view, is able to stand as a university of law if it is allowable. But Gallup is there, universities are around. All of us are studying, maybe many of us have law programs. Are we talking to Gallup? Are we interacting with Gallup? We are only looking at the Stanford, we are looking at NMPC, the CBN. What about the resources around us? How many of them are we speaking with? If we talk about technological innovation and commercialization, at a time at the University of Ilorin, the university set up what we now call the Laboratory to Product Center. And I know that they were doing a lot of things. One of the things that was done was this collaboration with the Nigerian military to produce bulletproof vests. I know that at that time, I think maybe about 2 or 3 times, the researchers from University of Ilorin traveled all the way to the to the military base where they can test if the bullet is good. I think the Vice Chancellor of Al-Hikmah University then was the director for the Center of Peace and Strategic Studies and was a part of that collaboration. But to date, I'm not sure we've been able to push it further than that place. We need to follow up on some of these things. We can also, when we talk about industry and university linkage, we can look at research collaborations. We can improve the quality of our faculty research by providing, because the industries can actually provide opportunities to test some of the things that we are doing. At the Federal University of Technology, Accra, we now have a collaboration with the Catholic hospitals in Ondo State. And what that does for us is that our students can go to the hospitals. We have medical lab science students. And you know, everybody knows that 2 things the Catholics invest in heavily. They invest in education and they invest in the healthcare. So they have very, very good hospitals. And we are taking advantage of that. Our students can actually use the hospitals as our laboratory. We also have a project that came on board last year. It's between the Nigerian government, the Czech Republic, and an industry, with an institution coming in, and the sole aim is to ensure that we give you money, the industry mentors you, but you must also develop another industry out of it. The entire purpose is to have spin-offs from university research. We also have things that can help with talent discovery if we collaborate with the industries. These initiatives will prepare our students and professionals with the skills and expectations needed to thrive in real-world environments. Last year, we got into collaboration with John Vent Industries. It's the largest cocoa producing industry in Ondo State, and I think it's also one of the largest in Africa. We got in touch with them, and what they did for us was to give us, first, they donated, what we call, is it the PG conference room? I forgot the name. It's a conference room. But beyond that, we also got them to be committed to sponsor at least 2 master's degrees every year for 4 years. And the master's students will be working on a project related to cocoa and advancing their own productivity. The same thing, last year we got also a collaboration between PZ Industries. We all know PZ, NOTAP serving as the midwife and footer. And what they have done is to provide equipment for research in our laboratories. We want to move the laboratories to such that whatever you are looking for, particularly within the Southwest, we can get it. We can also have infrastructure and resource sharing. And I think that at this way, we will be able to use the resources around us. I think about 10 years, maybe 8 years ago, we visited a university in India, and we wanted to attract a researcher to the University of Ilorin. And the first question the man asked us was, what are the industries in Ilorin? Because he said he cannot come only to teach and to only do research, abstract research. He will want to do a research that he can connect with at least one industry in Kwara State. And I think that should be our goal. And that's one of the reasons I have listed earlier on some of the industries available in Ilorin. Whatever we are doing locally, let us not think about Stanford for now, like it's been said. Let's not think about Microsoft only for now. Look at our environment and let us make impact within our environment. We were in the Gambia, and we realized that the University of Gambia actually produces all the manpower that is needed in the hospitality industry. Whoever has been to the Gambia knows that that is the only industry in the Gambia. It's their main industry, hospitality. But the entire hospitality industry in the Gambia depends on the University of the Gambia. And what they did was something close to what Professor Bamitale Omole said. Don't produce BSc for us. Don't produce first degree for us. Just give us this medium level manpower. We don't want to employ all caterers, but we want all our receptionists, servers, all of them to have some form of education to be able to work well. Thank you. To be able to work well in the industry. The constraints, I will talk about that later. The factors that can influence university-industry partnership. We have the institutional factors, the relationship factors, output factors, and the framework. When we talk about institutional factors, the resources, we need a passionate driver. One mistake we make at times is to think that everybody can do everything. All of us have our different gifts. So we need a passionate driver. We need finance, and that's why it's good. When we come together as a consortium, it's easier to meet the financial targets. We need time, and we need equipment. The industries will supply the equipment. We need strong policies. The policies will ensure that the bureaucracy, the complex structures are broken down, and therefore we can talk to one another. We can talk about relationship factors. Commitment and trust, they are key. The industries are looking for people that can protect them, protect their intellectual property, and also protect their trade secret. So we need people that they must be able to trust us. We also must be able to trust them that they don't want to exploit us. Persons with good personal relationship, and this involves regular interactions, continuous feedback, mutual exchange, and I believe they are all achievable. Then we have output factors. Whatever it is that we want to do together, we must ensure that it is well stated. We say it must be smart because it must be time-bound. They must know what they are working towards. And it is crucial to understand each other's interests, even from the beginning. Then we have the framework factor. And here we need the government to support whatever it is that is happening between the university and the industries. Now, let me make some suggestions. This is the second to the last slide, I think. If we must move forward on this, our collaboration, we need to identify our institutional strength. What can we do? Because you can't approach the industries and just be telling them this, that. Be strong. Any area you are strong, you can't do everything. But whatever is your strength, that's the leg you should put forward. And identify the industries around us. I've said that because that is exactly the people that you can work with better. Explore the use of alumni to penetrate industries. Most of the industries that FUTA works with now, they are places where our any of our alumnus has connected us with. We currently have a partnership with with 2 oil companies, and the partnership came through our alumni. Encouraging formal platforms of communication, conferences, workshops. We can also look at the use of professional bodies. Professional bodies have the academia, people in the academia, they have people in the industries. So why are we not talking to one another? Many of us come to conferences, we sit with our colleague from our university. I often frown at that. Somebody from Al-Hikmah is sitting with somebody from Al-Hikmah. No. Somebody from Al-Hikmah must go and sit with somebody from Ku8. That's how relationships are built. Somebody from Ku8 must go and sit with somebody from maybe Thomas Ade. We must go and sit with somebody from Camwire. That's the way we will build relationship. You cannot build relationship the way we do some of our movements. Development of local and global partnership, predetermine specific expectations with deliverables. And I've said it has to be, we use the concept of KISS. Keep it short and simple, or keep it smart and simple. Providing institutions with tools for collaboration, strengthening of intellectual property protection. This is very important for patents. People don't also want to lose their intellectual property rights. And then let us also identify the natural resources around us, because you can build industries from there. Those of us that are familiar with the news, not too long ago, University of Ife came up and they said, in their compound, mining is taking place, and they do not know. They are the ones sitting on the gold, okay? And they do not know that they are sitting on it, or they were not exploiting it. I think we must identify our resources. Benefits of the joint initiatives. Professor Akamo, I have seen you, thank you. We will have talent and skill development, access to resources, there will be economic growth, there will be knowledge exchange, there will be enhanced reputation of our institutions, there will be innovations, and I can confirm that there will be little risk of partnership. Finally, what are my concluding remarks? Can we make progress? Yes, we can make progress. I want to advise that the Ku8 will set up a committee comprising of research directors of all the participating member universities. Please don't also forget that the NRF cycle is on, and we think that the Ku8 must come together and present it, at least submit proposals. We should also ensure that participants from various institutions generate research ideas to solve industry need. There must be specific targets set. How many industries do you want to collaborate with in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years? There must be specific targets so you know if you are making it or not. Trust issues must be addressed. The industries must have confidence in us. And then strong intellectual policies should be developed to ensure that people's rights are protected. Distinguished audience, I bring you greetings from our university. We pride ourselves as the best university of technology in Nigeria. We are located in Ondo State. We were established in 1981. We are one of the over 270 universities in Nigeria. We have 11 schools and a community of about 30,000 people. And this is our gate. We call it the entrance to excellence. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Adenike Oladiji, Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, for that well-presented speech. We appreciate your coming and wish you a safe return back to your destination. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we would be taking the Goodwill messages now, but before then, permit me to recognize the presence of the Deputy Vice Chancellor Admin of the Kwara State University Malete and Chairman of the Kwara State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, Professor Masood Mahmoud Jimba. Thank you, sir. I've been told to make this announcement that today one of our panelists who is here with us this morning, Dr. Jani Ibrahim, and also the provost of the Kwara State Poly Offer, Engineer Dr. Kadir Kamaru Oluwatoyin FNSC, our birthday boys. So congratulations to the both of you. Wishing you long life and prosperity. And now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to invite to deliver the first Goodwill message here this afternoon, the Executive Secretary of the Universal Basic Education Commission, Professor Bashir Galadenchi. You are welcome, sir.
His Excellency, the Governor, ably represented by the Honorable Commissioner of Higher Education, the Honorable Minister of Education, ably represented by my big brother, the Executive Secretary of NUC, Ambassador Chris Miyaki. I would like to stand on the protocols already established. And I would like to start by saying, of course, I am not the Executive Secretary of UBEC. I am representing the Executive Secretary of UBEC, Dr. Hamid Boboy. And I'm really happy to be here. And I feel I am the youngest participant here. Forget about my white beard, but remember that I'm representing the over 50 million children in the basic education subsector. And that's why I decided to wear a kaftan, not like my big brother, the Executive Secretary of NUC, and my Vice Chancellor, Professor Jimo, and all the others wearing agbadas here. I should have worn a shirt and facing cap like where is Professor Oladimeji? My Executive Secretary has asked me to convey his congratulations to KU8 Plus and to commend the organizers of this conference for a very befitting theme. And he has asked me to share with you a little bit of what UBEC is doing with respect to collaboration and partnership with the private sector. Last year, the Universal Basic Education Commission established a digital resource center to help it to transform into the 21st century. And right from the onset, we decided that we need a lot of collaboration and partnership with the private sector. And since the center was established, we have had a lot of collaboration, especially with ed tech companies that are into the development of so many things, including learning management systems, digital content, a lot of educational games, and other educational tools and products that would promote education in the 21st century. And this type of collaboration has really been very beneficial to us. The best part of it is that many of these companies are in fact led by very young people. Most of them below 40 years of age, and obviously the employees are very young graduates from 20 to 30. And I remember as they started coming to us, we thought that they would be looking for money. You know, everybody considers UBEC to be a gold mine. But they told us that, no, we have grants from MasterCard Foundation, Google, and so many other organizations. Our grants are in dollars, not even in Naira. So we are here to add value to what you are doing to promote basic education. And already this collaboration and partnership has started, and we're benefiting tremendously. That is why when recently we started a research fund, similar to TED Fund's NRF, we said that if you want to qualify to get our research grant, then you better partner with an edtech company. So we're getting many academics. They are partnering with these young edtech companies and startups. And we've gotten very many wonderful concept notes that we think, or that we are sure of, we are sure that they'll really make a difference in our educational landscape. At the same time, we've started partnering with many organizations in holding conferences and workshops and so on. So I'd like to tell you that collaboration and partnership with the private sector really works. And that's why the executive secretary said he's looking forward to all the ideas that will be generated from this conference so that we can improve on what we are already doing in terms of collaborating and partnering with the private sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Bashir Galadanchi, for the message of the year's UBEC. We appreciate you. All right, we want to take a few more Goodwill messages. Next, I'm calling on Professor Bosede Awudola. Professor Bosede Awudola is a representative of the Director General, Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution. You're welcome.
Good afternoon. Do I say ladies and gentlemen? That may be much, much beyond me to say, but I want to say that I want to ask you to allow me to stand on the already established protocol. Notwithstanding, I must mention and thank the organizers for inviting the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution. And I must also thank our father, the founder of Al-Hikmah University. Having said that, I am standing to represent the Director General of the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution. I look at the topic of this conference, which says, Shaping Sustainable Future, Connecting Universities and Industries Through Joint Initiatives. Even though we are not here for issues of conflict resolution, but I want to borrow, some principles to actually drive my point.
In peace and conflict studies, we usually talk about issues of stakeholders. We talk about, joint initiatives. And in that respect, we usually use what we call multi-stakeholders analysis. And sometimes, too, we use what we call multi-track diplomacy, which also always emphasize, one, the issues of research, and secondly, it's also emphasize the issue of business. And that makes me to connect that with what we are doing here today. When you are talking about research, research is all-encompassing, which also includes, universities. And when you are talking about issue of business, is also all-inclusive, which also include the issue or the areas of industries. So you could see the connection in that areas. So the purpose of this multi-stake diplomacy I'm talking about, or I'm making reference to, is simply to highlight the importance of working together, collaboration, joint initiatives, and so on and so forth, for the purpose of achieving, expected outcomes. Having said that, let me quickly mention this. This program or this event, the conference, is actually coming at the right time. If you could recollect, one of the business of this administration, as particularly as regard to the foreign policy of this administration, is actually to look into the issue of democracy, the issue of development, diaspora, and of course, demography. I want to believe that as we all gather here and you look at the demography of people that are here, you could see that we have more youth. What is it that we are giving to our youth to do? How are they engaging? And we must move from, this issue and mentality of theories. At this time and at this age of, technology, we must be able to connect theory and practice. So I want to commend the organizers of this event for actually bringing up these important topics. Having said that, I want to say that when we are looking at education, we should try as much as possible to look beyond formal education. There are people out there that they could do wonders. There are people out there that they are actually engaging very well. They are not educated, but they are engaging in an informal sectors, and they are actually making, great initiatives. So I just want to appeal that we could look at that aspect to make sure that the issue of, informal education is looked into. The emeritus professor, Professor Mole, has spoken so well, about the responsibility of the VCs. And I just want to, say more, directly to the participant, particularly the students. How do you connect yourself? And that is the purpose of you being here today. And I want to say that being here is for you to actually take, something home. How do you transform that thing, to your own advantage? You should think about that. It is very, very important. So I want to say that your being here is for you to come, back or look at yourself in the next, 2-3 years and say thank you for this event. I want to say that, when you have this kind of event and you are looking at issue of research and you are looking at issue of universities and industries, I must tell you that this is a good, avenue that actually contributes, to research. It contributes to collaborations. And I will also say that it's also, open new initiatives, opportunities, and innovations. And it's also, helps to combine theories and practice, like I said before. So on this note, on behalf of the Director General of the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution, I want to employ you to actually, pay attention to all that are being said here and to make sure that you apply them in your future endeavor. Let me quickly say something. I was just discussing about 3 weeks ago. I was in a panel, about 6 of us were there. We are actually working on a very important area for government. We have to, will I call them professionals that came, from abroad. We are just 6, and one of them, we are actually discussing the issue of youth and how they can be empowered. And he was giving us, an experience in Zimbabwe. What was it? He was actually mentoring some group of, youth, and after 2 years, those people just felt that they need to, diversify and see what they could do. They came together and they said they were doing animal husbandry. They actually borrowed money to start it. Amazingly, after 2 years, they were counting dollars, and they were able to roll out or reel in a total sum of $176,000 just in 2 years. So please, whatever you are getting from here, apply yourself. You can never say. You can never think of what can come out of it. So on this note, at the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution, we encourage our youth to be, engaged positively rather than negatively. We encourage our youth to actually apply themselves positively, not negatively. So I want to appeal to you to please kindly take this serious and make sure that you are thankful to the organizers of this event. So I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma, for the goodwill message. Because of time, I want to invite the founder of Al-Hikmah University, Al-Hadi Chief Dr. Abdurrahim Oladimeji, who has a presentation of a gift for the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, Ambassador Chris Jibril Mayaki. Please, let's welcome them with a rousing applause. Our Baba has a gift for the ES before he takes his leave. Yes, the gift is for the Minister of Education of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who the ES has ably represented at this conference. And as you can see, the gift is a copy of the Noble Quran, a very special copy, which symbolizes Al-Hikmah University as an Islamic faith-based institution. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Okay, and of course, a gift of the Holy Bible for the ES himself, Ambassador Chris Jibril Mayaki. We appreciate the coming of the ES. Al-Hikmah University will always welcome you with open arms. We appreciate everything that the Commission has done for us and for sister universities, especially the KU8+ universities. And we wish you a safe journey back to your destination. Thank you very much once again.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Minister for Education, ably represented by the ES, NUC. You know, for somebody having 274 universities under his care, he has a flight to quickly catch up with. So KU8's Vice Chancellors, you are to see him off. They'll be joining us just in a moment. And ladies and gentlemen, well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're pretty much aware that many of us will want to go for prayers shortly, and so we are working towards achieving this. And don't let us forget also that we still have the roundtable discussion. The discussion has been that our researches will not just stay on the shelf. How do we actually monetize this, commercialize it? And of course, we have captains of industries here. You must have been seeing Engineer Johnny Ibrahim. And so also we have Alhaji Kamaru Yusuf and other people who are here to discuss this with us. So we'll be having that after we must have listened to His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State. But we're waiting for our Vice Chancellors to return before we listen to His Excellency. The band. Okay.
Thank you very much, the police band. Thank you very much. We appreciate your coming. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please let's get back to our seats. We're almost done with the opening ceremony.
Okay. All right, so we'll welcome back our Vice Chancellors. You are very much welcome. And just a few more goodwill messages before we listen to His Excellency. So I'm calling now next on the Rector of Kwara State Polytechnic, Engineer Dr. Kamaru Oluwatoyin Kadiri, who is representing the Executive Secretary, MBT. Your goodwill message, sir. You're very much welcome. Please, a round of applause for him.
For what of time, I adopt the existing protocol. On behalf of the Executive Secretary, National Board for Technical Education, and members of the board, I'm delighted to express my profound gratitude on the occasion of the second KUB conference. My boss, Engineer Muhammad Idris Bugaje, directed me to facilitate with the consortium for their commitment for transforming the image of the university in Kwara State, and the organizing committee to thank them for the job well done. As we celebrate this epoch-making gathering, my boss, Professor Idris Muhammad Bugaje, acknowledged the sterling achievement of Al-Hikmah University by the founding father, our Baba. Under your able leadership, and we feel so honored to be associated with you. On behalf of the MBTES and the management of Federal Botanic Offer, please accept the renewed assurances of our highest regards. We wish you happy deliberations. Thank you.
Well, one of the three cardinal points of any university is the town. And we have our royal fathers here. And so we'll listen next now to His Royal Majesty, Oba Abdurrahim Oladele Adeoti, the Olomu of Omuaran, Kabiyesi sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kwara State, ably represented by the Honorable Commissioner for Tertiary Education, the outgone Executive Secretary, representing Honorable Minister, the Executive Secretary of the Government of Kwara State, the First Chancellors here present, please permit me to adopt the established protocol. The topic shaping sustainable future, connect universities and industry through joint initiative. I think this is the time we are trying to hold the bull by the horn. The joint initiative is a step towards emancipation. When I hear of the word sustainable, I'm always moved. That what are we trying to sustain I will take us a bit back to memory lane when we used to have national development plans. There was one prepared in 1968 during the Civil War, and that did not end until 1970 when the Civil War was ending. The major concern after the Civil Wars, reconciliation, reconstruction, and rehabilitation. Now we have the second national development plan. I'm only trying to say that we have never been short of ideas in Nigeria. The problem has been, how do we develop? In the second and third national development plan, there are two major salient points. One is no state or region should lag behind the other. That is, there must be equity, there must be justice, and we should all live in egalitarian society. Now, if we want to follow these three cardinal points, you will see that it's not talking of any other thing that how do we sustain ourselves as a nation. Now, the second point, salient point, is diversification of the economy into the productive capacity of the economy. That is, I think we are still in mono economy, petroleum products. How do we diversify from these petroleum products to other productive capacity of the economy? So many industries sprang up. You have the Ajakuta Steel Company. I don't think whether it's still living, whether moribund. You have Alaja Steel Company, Oshogbo Steel Rolling Mill, and several others like that. Now we have believed the coming together of universities that are actually bail us out in this country of our economic predicament is this type of thing taking place here today. Joining together, not only relying on government, because the points are there is positive of fund. When budgets are prepared, in every fiscal year, you say this one is not enough, that one is not enough, for almost all the sectors of the economy. But if the universities can come together and go look outside what the government will do, I think we are trying to hold the bull by the horn. And that is where and when we can actually grow. Funding the 3 tiers of government has been a problem. We know what is happening presently. There is hunger in the town, and there are demonstrations. But with this kind of thing coming up here today, this is the second one, I hope it will continue to grow, and while stronger, so that it won't die on the way. Now, the Professor Male said that it is not only going to the university alone. We have so many students going to the university, ending up in Yahoo Plus, Yahoo Minus, even at secondary school, Yahoo Plus. I'm happy Professor Ebewole is here. He has a landmass. When the FUTA VC, technology, he identified 5 categories of industry, the tertiary, the primary one in particular. The primary one is the agrarian society, and that is where you have the bulk of the population. Take some students, some boys, for 3, 4, 5, 6 months training. Give them certificates, and lease land to them to farm, and you think you will be solving the problem of the youth in Nigeria. I pray that this one is the best move to actually bail us out of our economic predicament. We need advocacy, we need publicity, and networking the one you are doing now with the private sectors in particular, as suggested by Professor Omale, so that you will rely little or none to the government. And by doing this, by the grace of God, we get to the promised land. Thank you, and God bless.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate our royal fathers for their presence and for their words of encouragement and prayers. We have just 10 minutes to conclude this program, and we have 3 more items to go. So now, let me invite to round up the goodwill messages the Secretary to the State Government of Kwara, Professor Maman Saba Jibril. Professor.
The father of this university, who is also the mother of the university, who is also the founder of the university. I say good afternoon to you. Okay, thank you. I say good afternoon to you. I also greet the mother of the university. I say more grace to your elbow. All my vice chancellors, serving and retired, outside Kwara State, or those who come from far, I say you are welcome. I also greet all my professors here present. I have one of them that is in government from Malente. That is a Muslim Community Board, is the chairman. You are welcome to this place. My PAMSECs, my commissioners, my essays here present, my honorable commissioners, you are welcome. The issue at this, that the theme of our discussion for about 3 to 2 days ago till today centers around the fact that it became, there was a time the governments, both at the federal and state levels, were not satisfied with the aiding that the governments were giving them. And they had no alternative than to go out. So this they are going out becomes very beneficial to these institutions and the rest of us and Nigeria at large. I can give an example of Nigeria Defense Academy, Kaduna, because I'm from that place. Nigeria Defense Academy is being supported very constantly by Defense Ministry. But because they had to copy what is a worldly practice by partnering of people, and they started to go out as well. And they call it linkages. That is Center for Linkages. That's the name of it in Nigeria Defense Academy. And they are doing very wonderfully well, just as the professors have pointed out, or those have given speech here, just as they pointed out. They are doing wonderfully. So I will employ some of our professors, or all of them, especially this center, this university, to send 1 or 2 of their boys to go to Kaduna to see what Nigeria Defense Academy is doing in terms of collaboration. Very wonderful. You imagine sometimes when they need to go out of the country, they are always being led by the commandant, who is a general, to go and search for 1 or 2 things for the academy. If it is within, he goes there as well, just to achieve some of these objectives. So my presentation is very simple, and that is to say, all of us that are in that sector, the education sector, you take time and see what is also happening in Nigeria Defense Academy. What they are doing can be silent because they are only one military university in the sub-region of Africa. So because of that, they are also doing very wonderfully, and I would love you to see what they are doing one day. Through that, they will also gain from you. So I love it that one. Now, inside of the government, the government here is collaborating, is working with all the institutions, tertiary institutions here, and that's why we have a commissioner of tertiary institution here. That's very beautiful. Whatever is our presentation here, will be presented, is contained in the address of our Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, which he will present shortly after this. So you are welcome, and I appreciate for your coming. But before I rest my case, several of my professors, like VC of University of Ilorin, he was complaining of his height. All of them that are in the same shoe with him, I want to add all their degrees, not more than 1 dozen, so that I add it on top of them so that they'll be as tall as myself. Thank you very much.
Please wait, sir. Sir, please wait. The award will be presented. Okay, please.
When he told me to wait, I thought it's because of my observation about the professors.
Over to Professor Oladimeji to take charge of the proceedings. Thank you. You can return to your seat. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. Please, let's put our hands together for him. All right. Okay. I've been whispered to that the all right. Traditionally, the founder and chairman board of trustees, Al-Hikmah University, the Asiwaju and Jagumolu of Igbomina land, Arogundade of Lagos, Baba Oba of Ofa, Alhaji Chief Dr. Abdurrahim Oladimeji, OFR, FSPSP, FNA, EAP. He has something to present. Okay. He has these for His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State and Chairman, Nigeria Governors Forum, Malam Abdurrahman Abdurazak. Okay. All right, next to receive is the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Maman Saba Jibril. Okay, I've been told that the next to be given is the lead paper presenter, Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladiji, FAS. The next is the keynote speaker, Professor Bamitale Omole. And next is Alhaji Dr. Kamaruddin Bitoye Yusuf, OON. All right, thank you very much, sir. I call on His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State and Chairman, Nigeria Governors Forum, Malam Abdurrahman Abdurazak, CON, ably represented by the Honorable Commissioner for Tertiary Education, Kwara State, Dr. Mary Ronke Arinde, for his address.
The representative of the First Lady of Kwara State, Ambassador Olufolake Abrazak, ably represented by Barrister Sabitiyu Grillo, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tertiary. The representative of the Minister of Education that has just left us, the Executive Secretary of the National University Commission, Ambassador Chris Mayaki, our father and our Oga, Professor Mama Shaba Jubri, the Secretary to the State Government, and the proprietor and founder of this great citadel of learning, Chief Dr. Abraham Oladimeji, the Jagumolu of Igbaja, our own father, our role model, example that is worthy of emulation. We want to thank you, Daddy, for what God is using you to do in our generation. And it's our prayer that God will continue to spare your life to eat the fruit of your labor. All our royal father present, all our vice chancellors present, all registrars present here today, organizers of the Ku8 Conference, captain of industries, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure and a deep sense of responsibility that I stand before you today at this significant gathering, the second Ku8 Conference, to represent His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, as the special guest to this event, which embodies a crucial theme, shaping a sustainable future, connecting universities and industries through joint initiatives. This theme resonates profoundly with our collective mission to harness our universities and industries' intellectual and innovative capacities to drive sustainable development in Kwara State and beyond. University is the bedrock of knowledge, innovation, and societal progress. They are the fertile ground where ideas germinate, critical thinking flourishes, and future leaders are nurtured. However, the true potential of our academic institutions is realized when they extend their influence beyond the confines of their campuses, engaging with industries and addressing real-world challenges. In Kwara State, we recognize the indispensable role our universities play in this regard. Today's consortium of universities, the Ku8 exemplifies a unified approach to education, research, and community engagement. This collaboratory spirit is essential in creating an ecosystem where academic excellence meets practical applications, fostering innovation, and driving sustainable development. The connection between universities and industries is not merely beneficial, it is imperative for achieving sustainable progress. Industries provide a practical landscape where theoretical knowledge is tested, refined, and transformed into tangible solutions. Conversely, universities offer cutting-edge research and innovative thinking that industries need to remain competitive and responsive to evolving societal needs. Joint initiative between these two sectors can lead to groundbreaking advancements in technology, healthcare, agriculture, and many other fields. They can create a dynamic workforce equipped with the skills and knowledge required to tackle contemporary challenges and seize emerging opportunities. In essence, the synergy between universities and industries is a catalyst for economic growth, social development, and environmental sustainability. The Executive Governor of Kwara State, Governor Abdurrahman Abrazak, CON, is deeply committed to fostering an environment where education and innovation thrive. One of our key initiatives in this regard is the establishment of the new Kwara State University of Education in Ilorin. And at this point, I want to thank Ambassador Chris Mayaki that has recently signed the establishment of this university. This is another feather on our cap, and Kwara State is now bold and proud to say that we have 2 state universities. Thank you very much, Ambassador Chris Mayaki, in absentia. This has recently received recognition and approval from the National Universities Commission just last week. This new institution will soon join the ranks of the prestigious Ku8+, further enriching our academic landscape and expanding opportunities for collaboration. As we gather here today, let us reaffirm our commitment to shaping a sustainable future through the powerful alliance of universities and industries. Let us embrace innovation, champion collaboration, and strive for excellence in all our endeavors. Together, we can create a Kwara State that not only meets the need of the present, but also paves the way for a brighter, more sustainable future for generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the organizers of the Ku8 Conference for bringing us together in this spirit of collaboration and shared purpose. I'm confident that the discussions, insights, and initiatives that emerge from this conference will have a lasting impact on our academic institutions, industries, and society at large. Thank you very much, and may this conference be a resounding success. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, ma'am. The Honorable Commissioner of Education, here in a capacity representing the Executive Governor of Kwara State. We wish you well in your assignments, and please give our regards to His Excellency. And now to the next item, which is a vote of thanks to be delivered by the Secretary General of the Ku8+, Professor Francisca O. Oladipo, FNCS, and of course, Vice Chancellor Thomas Adewumi University, Okoirese.
On behalf of the entire campus communities of the Ku8+, I stand to express our deep appreciation to every one of us. Every one of you are our very special guests. We want to appreciate the Kwara State government, represented by the Executive Governor, represented by the Honorable Commissioner for Higher Education. We thank you. And of course, the First Lady, who is also represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Higher Tertiary Education. Thank you for your support. You not only gave us an enabling environment to thrive as universities, you also supported the hosting of our Honorable Minister. Thank you so much, Kwara State Government. We appreciate our Honorable Minister who has just left, represented by one of our own, the Executive Secretary of the NUC. We know it's quite busy time in the country right now, but they found time to also be here to support us. And then, of course, we're grateful to our speakers. This is a university event, and so who best to speak to us than a past Vice Chancellor, the boss of our bosses, and then, of course, a serving Vice Chancellor, our own sister, and one of our own. We have been supercharged by your messages. And then, of course, you'll be hearing back from us very, very soon on some of the recommendations that you have made. Our father, the founder of Al-Hikmah University, you are indeed a father. Thank you so much, sir, on behalf of the Vice Chancellors and the entire campus communities of the Ku8+. Each time we visit you, you do not spare us of your generosity. And not just in terms of material generosity, but we get so much depth of wisdom from you. So many things that we didn't anticipate when we started this consortium, you drew our attention to it, and your guidance has really helped us. Thank you, sir. Our fathers, Kabiesis, Kadekpe Lori, Kibatakpe Lese, we thank you for supporting us. We all have guardian angels, but you're the ones that we see in our communities. We really thank you for allowing us to thrive. 4 out of the 9 vice chancellors of the Ku8 are computer scientists. And today we have our father, our mentor, our teacher, Professor Galadanshi. We're so proud to have you, sir. Thank you for accepting to represent the ES of UBEC. Anyone else could have come, but we're happy to have you here. To every one of our very special guests, principal officers, deans, directors, provosts of the Ku8 universities, our visiting vice chancellors, we appreciate the feeling of comradeship. Thank you for supporting us. I did not intend to leave anyone out, but there are some people that we hardly remember. This event could not have been possible if this hall was not well decorated, well prepared. So for everyone who contributed to the preparation of this venue, we're grateful to you. We thank you, the technical people who handle the computers, those in charge of the microphone, the cleaners, everyone. We thank you for making this place conducive. Yes, they're mostly forgotten, but no, we really have to thank you. Ku8 Plus is special. We don't leave anyone behind. To our most talented students from the Ku8 universities, thank you. Without students, we have no universities. And so we appreciate you most sincerely. Watch out for next year. Al-Hikmah University has done so well, and we're grateful to the entire Al-Hikmah University campus community. Last year, we were at the Better by Far University. We thought we had the best, and now it gets better. Next year, it's going to get much, much better, I promise you. Grateful to everyone. We have 3 very special awards as part of our appreciation from the consortium. And the first one is to Professor Mama Saba Jibril, the Secretary to the State Government, Kwara State. This award will be presented by my big brother, the Vice Chancellor of Kwara State University, Professor Sheikh Lukman Alade Jima. The SSG, sir, kindly. Okay.
This is our own. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of Ku8 Consortium, it's my pleasure and honor to present this plaque to our SSG. Thanks so much, sir, for coming, sir.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you so much from all of us from the Ku8. We thank you. Thank you.
Allow me to appreciate. I appreciate all of you. And anytime I come here, the proprietor used to give me Holy Quran. So my appreciation today, I will put it in prayers. And the way I will pray very silently. And all of you, you take your intention very silently. Anything, for those who believe in that, anything you need from Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, from God, you can be telling, say, this is what I need from you. Your belief notwithstanding, God will still bless you with the request by the grace of God. And I wish the university prosperity. Thank you. Let me say the prayer. Bismillah Ramadan. Solara.
Thank you so much. The second award is to the mother of the state, Ambassador Olufunke Abrazak, the First Lady of Kwara State, represented by Professor Dr. No. This award will be presented by the Vice Chancellor of Summit University, Professor Mogaji Musa Aibinu Omo. Is it here? Our mother is represented here by Barrister Kikelomo Grillo. Professor Aibinu, please.
Oh.
Yes, on behalf of
Good afternoon, the distinguished members of this occasion. Kindly permit me to stand on established protocol. I want to sincerely, on behalf of Her Excellency, the wife of the Executive Governor of Kwara State, Ambassador Mrs. Olufunke Olufolake Abrazak, I sincerely want to congratulate the organizers of this program, and I want to appreciate everyone for deeming it fit to give her this award. The award, we want to tell you, will not be taken for granted. You are well appreciated, and we pray that all the deliberation reached at this occasion will be successful and a fruitful achievement on behalf of the state.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the Yorubas will say, Egunla lo kenyin igbale. So we call our father, Alhaji Oba Dr. Ahmed Awuni Babalola Arepo II, LSA of Igbaja, and the chairman, Ifelodun Traditional Council. This award will be presented by the Vice Chancellor of Ojaja University. We'll come to you, Kabiyesi. Kabiyesi will come to you. Mr. Ojaja will come to you. You want to carry over?
Ẹ̀dùn ó tó o, ẹ̀yin ò mọ ìlú tó máa ń lù fọ́ba ni. Ẹ dúró àyàn àníkẹ́ sọ pé eléèsè ọba Ìgbàjà kábíyèsí dìde kó o jó ọba Ìgbàjà kábíyèsí. ẹ ti ṣe o bàbá ní orúkọ gbogbo àparapọ̀ àwọn yunifásitì tó jẹ́ mẹ́jọ àti sókè lọ, wọ́n parapọ̀, wọ́n fi àmì ẹ̀yẹ yìí, wọ́n ní ká fi dá yín lọ́lá pé àdúró tì yín lójú ẹ̀mí Ku8 á tún máa lọ sókè jù báyìí lọ. Ọ̀pá àṣẹ lẹ́nu apẹ́, adé apẹ́ lórí, bàtà apẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀, ìrùkẹ̀rẹ̀ adọ́kìnní. Ẹ ṣé o bàbá. Kábíyèsí o.
Adúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run. Ọpẹ́ àwọn ò ní bàjẹ́. Mo bá Aládì méjì dúpẹ́. Gbogbo Ìgbàjà ó bá Aládì méjì dúpẹ́. Gbogbo Bìrìrèṣe wà, wọ́n bá Aládì méjì dúpẹ́. Ọpẹ́ náà ọlọ́mọdé ó bàjẹ́ o. Iléèwé yìí Ọlọ́run ní jó bàjẹ́. Iléèwé Ọlọ́run ní jó bàjẹ́. Gbogbo àwọn tó ń kọ̀wé níbẹ̀ wáànù ni wọ́n máa gbà. Wọ́n ní gba ìwé pupa. Ọlọ́run iléèwé yóò máa lòkè ní ojoojúmọ́. Aládì méjì mo bá dúpẹ́. Kò ní tẹ́, kò ní tí, kò ní bàjẹ́. Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ rí dààmú láyé. Gbogbo tí ń wù láyé lọ́lọ́run ṣe fún un. Èyí tí ò fẹ́ Ọlọ́run ní jó dọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀. Gbogbo tí jẹ́ padà sí ibú láti méjì ó ń gbọ́ òun ni mo lójó kó tì mí máa bọ̀ ó yá máa bọ̀ ọpẹ́ là á dúró ni ọpẹ́ òun ò sì ní tán láéláé ọpẹ́ lélẹ́yìí. kọ má ba erukeru àbí lala lẹ́nu Òkòrèṣé ń dúpẹ́ Ìgbàjà ń dúpẹ́ Kwara ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọládìméjì lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run kò ní tán fún un kò ní bàjẹ́ fún un ó gbé Kwara gòkè ó gbé Nàìjíríà gòkè síbọ́lọ̀ ní Ọládìméjì ọ̀ní yáwọ́ kú ọ̀ní ṣàgbákò bú inú ẹ̀ máa dùn ní ojúmọ́ gbogbo tí já padà síbú Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ súnmọ́ ọ̀ní sì jẹ Ọládìméjì ọ̀ní sì mu ọ̀ní sì wà wù níjọ́ bínú ọ̀ní sinú bí gbogbo ọmọ ẹ yóò rí bọ́ọ̀ ti fẹ́ gbogbo nǹkan ni ẹ kò ní bàjẹ́ lójú ẹ eléyìí ò ní jáse mọ́ fún ọ o Ọlọ́run ń bá ọ dúpẹ́ Ìgbàjà ń bá ọ dúpẹ́ eléṣe Ìgbàjà ń bá ọ dúpẹ́ gbogbo àníyàn ẹ pátá yóò ṣeé ṣe ọ̀níṣàgbákò bú o Ọlọ́run ní mo ṣẹ̀sín Ọlọ́run òòrè ẹ máa lékún òòrè ẹ máa lékún Ìgbàjà rèṣe ò ní bàjẹ́ Kwara ò ní bàjẹ́ Nàìjíríà Ọlọ́run ní jó bàjẹ́ gbogbo yunifásitì yìí ń bẹ Nàìjíríà tó Ọlọ́run ṣe ṣàgbéga fún wọn gbogbo tí ń wọ ẹ̀ nípa o tí ó pa ọ́ ní wọ ọ́ ní yáwó ọkú ọ́ ní ṣàgbákò bú Ọlọ́run ní yẹ̀yẹ́ gbogbo bí ọba ń lọ láyé Ọlọ́run tẹ̀lé o ọlá ànábì mọ́mọ́ gbogbo ọmọ ẹ pátá yóò rí bọ́ọ̀ ti fẹ́ Ìgbàjà dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ ẹ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ ẹ Ìgbàjà dúpẹ́ eléṣe dúpẹ́ Ọlọ́run ní jó tán mọ́ ọlá ànábì mọ́mọ́.
ẹ ṣé bàbá ẹ ṣeun ẹ jókòó ẹ ṣé gan. ẹ jókòó sàn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, shall we all rise for the national anthem? All right, thank you very much, everyone. Our guest on the table here, our guest on the table up here, and all our KBACs. They are to follow the Vice Chancellor Thomas Adewumi University to where they are to have their lunch. Our guest on the table, Ku8 Vice Chancellors and invited Vice Chancellors and our KBACs. They are to go with the Vice Chancellor Thomas Adewumi, Professor Ladipo, and all the principal officers of Ku8 universities, provost and deans. They are to go with the LOC chairman, Dr. Sulaiman Yusuf, and Mr. John Ayedun.